Every failed assassination attempt in 16 minutes. Abe Lincoln? Wait, why is Abe Lincoln on here? Okay, you must not be updated, man. Wait, bro, they tried to assassinate bro twice? Is that what they're gonna try to tell me in this video? Nah, he really the GOAT then, bro. That's how you know he was the GOAT. You got people that off that they had to try to assassinate him twice. If it was me and I had to do an assassinate, okay, wait, that sounds crazy. YouTube, I just want to say, FBI, everything, I would never commit an assassination on somebody ever. Absolutely deplorable. Just want to mention that. I sit in my room, I stream on, like, I would never, you know what I'm saying? But I'm saying, like, if it was a hypothetical scenario, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would just never miss, bro. I can never understand it. Like, if I really was gonna go for it, like, it would be like, you know, it would have to be confirmed. No affiliation. Y'all are unaffiliating from NFG? Y'all just gonna leave me like that? I speak for everyone when I say y'all are all in it with me. If I go down, we all fall down. What did Kanye say?
And it all falls down. And it all falls.
Come on, guys. Come on now. All right, can I just see this video, man?
Adolf Hitler.
Yo!
To be told, the amount of people who wanted this man dead was honestly just crazy.
Nah, for real, bro. Whoever missed that generational fumble, could you imagine how much of a hero the person that assassinated him would be looked as? Bro, you'd be looking as the coolest ever. You'll get all the hoes for real. How you mess up this battle? Whoever messed this up for real, get your aim up. See, this is why I was saying that if I was an assassin, I wouldn't be missing like that. Not that I would ever commit an assassination on anybody ever, but like, bro, come on.
And for good reason. After all, he was the infamous dictator of Nazi Germany and brought about the death and suffering of millions of people. In total, there were at least 42 known attempts on Hitler's life, and the very first one started in 1939. Hitler was
42 attempts? Dude, these countries suck. Who was doing it? What were y'all trying to hit him with? Nerf bullets? 42 attempts? Y'all got NPC aim. Stormtrooper aim. Nah, bro. I didn't realize it was this much, man.
Was scheduled to deliver a speech at the Bürgerbraukeller beer hall in Munich when Johann Georg Elsa, a German carpenter who opposed Nazi ideology, planted a time bomb in a column behind the speaker's podium, set to detonate during Hitler's...
Okay, I don't know if I'm just dumb. I did not know they had technology back then to, like, make time bombs and stuff. They were low-key smarter than I thought. Like, let me guess, bro. It's like a cartoon. Does he have Toon Force or something?
Speech. However, Hitler left the hall earlier than expected, cutting his speech short by 13 minutes. The bomb exploded on schedule and killed 8 people, but unfortunately, Hitler had already left the building.
Damn.
Elsa was captured and eventually executed, but his attempt remains one of the closest.
Nah, really, shout out to bro for real. Can we get a rest in peace? Rest in peace to bro for real. You tried, man. At least you tried, bro. You was trying to help, you know what I'm saying?
Calls. Another bold assassination attempt took place on July 20th, 1944 at Hitler's Eastern Front headquarters. Colonel Klaus von Stauffenberg, a German army officer who believed that killing Hitler was the only way to save Germany from destruction, walked into a meeting with Hitler holding a briefcase bomb. He placed the briefcase under the table near Hitler and left the room. The bomb exploded and killed 4 people. Hitler survived with only minor injuries because the heavy wooden table leg had shielded him from the blast.
Nah, this nigga got plot armor. No, stop. What is the chance of him being right here at this specific table leg? Okay, somebody said Himmler. Stop. Okay, y'all are off the deep end. Shut the up. What the hell, bro? This is actually insane plot armor. How does this even happen?
Honestly, the man was like a cat with 9 lives. Even British agents allegedly plotted to assassinate Hitler with exploding chocolate bars. The plan was to coat explosive devices with dark chocolate and wrap them in fancy...
Oh yeah, see my dumb ass? My dumb ass would have been like, ooh, some chocolate. I would have been done for after that. Hey, bro, shit, you could literally tell me the chocolate was poison on everything. I'd probably still eat it, bro. On everything, I probably still would, bro. It is what, if I'm hungry, bro, it's one of those nights. It's one of those late night craving type shit. I probably would.
See packaging. Sadly, this deliciously devious plan never made it past the planning stages. The craziest thing about all these...
Somebody said good to know. So you, number one, you thought I was actually serious. And number two, you took that advice and you was gonna give me some poison chocolate? You know what? I'm not trusting y'all, bro.
assassination attempts was that none of them were ever successful, and Adolf Hitler ended up taking his own life in his bunker in 1945 as Allied forces closed in on Berlin. It's like he was determined to prove that if you want something done right, you've got to do it yourself.
Okay.
Andrew Jackson, 1835. Let's say you are President Andrew Jackson, and on one sunny day...
Bro, I swear for the longest, I know I wasn't the only one that thought this was an old lady. I know I wasn't the only one that thought this was an old lady. He's on the dollar bill, right? Or one of the dollars. I don't know which dollar, but one of the dollars. For the longest, I looked at it, I was like, damn, this is a mean old... And then I realized, I was like, shit, this was a president. Like, that's crazy, bro. Yeah, why did, like, they all have, all the presidents, that type of hair, like the wigs and whatnot? What happened to that, man? Now, imagine, like, Trump wore a wig or something, like one of the white wigs. One of those, like, super old wigs or something like that. Now, you know, those fans would be like, what you trying to do, bro? What you trying to say?
On January 30th, 1835, you are attending a funeral at the U.S.
He does wear a wig, for real?
Little do you know that instead of saying goodbye to a colleague, you'd almost be saying hello to your own maker. The reason is because Richard Lawrence, an unemployed house painter, decides that today is the perfect day to assassinate the president.
Damn.
So as Jackson left the funeral, Lawrence emerged from the crowd armed with not one, but 2 pistols. However,
akimbo. And he f***ing lost? You won a Kimbo, buddy? And you lost? Nah, what's up with these assassins' aim? Man, y'all suck, bro. The only assassin that had, like, the best aim was probably JFK's assassin.
Lawrence isn't exactly what you might call a sharpshooter because he shoots the president and misfires 2 freaking times.
Oh my God.
Anyway, the 67-year-old president was obviously pissed that someone tried to take his life and, even at that, didn't have the decency to do it right. He wasn't about to stand there and let the man ruin his day, so instead of hiding, the president charged at the guy with nothing but his walking cane. It's quite the scene. The president of the United States whacking an assassin with his cane while...
Yo, that's kind of hard, bro. Hold on, wait, he got aura! That's crazy! I couldn't imagine, I mean, bro, we saw what Trump did. He was like, oh no, bro, they shooting. Like, bro, Biden's old ass probably would have just died on the spot for real. Like, these presidents is cool as hell.
All onlookers scrambled to restrain him. If this were a movie, it would be part action, part comedy, with a touch of absurdity thrown in for
Joe would die
measure.
even if the
Richard
bullets
Lawrence
missed.
was arrested and found not guilty by reason of insanity and spent the rest of his days in an asylum. Abraham Lincoln, 1861. During this period, America was a nation on the brink. The Civil War was looming large, and tensions were higher than a kite on the 4th of July. Fresh off his election victory, Abraham Lincoln was preparing to journey from his home in Springfield to Washington, D.C. for his inauguration. However, word on the street was that a group of pro-slavery conspirators were planning to assassinate Lincoln as he passed.
Bro, they was really mad at this man, bro, for freeing us? Y'all were really mad about that? Yo. That's actually so crazy. They were so mad at him, bro. They were gonna assassinate him. That's so crazy to think about.
Passed through Baltimore because they were not happy he had won the presidency. Well, their plans didn't go accordingly because Alan Pinkerton, a private detective extraordinaire and the 19th century's answer to James Bond, caught wind of the plot and decided it was time for some presidential protection. Pinkerton's plan was simply to smuggle Lincoln through Baltimore, so they disguised him in a soft felt hat and a shawl. That's right, they dressed the future great emancipator like someone's grandmother out for a chilly evening stroll. Under the cover of darkness, Lincoln was sneaked onto a train, transferred in the dead of night, and whisked through Baltimore while the would-be assassins were probably still trying to...
It's crazy how, like, the president's was in Baltimore and whatnot, because it was actually a relatively, like, good city. Could you imagine the president driving through Baltimore nowadays? Yeah, bro would be fucking cooked.
To figure out which end of a gun to hold. The plan worked like a charm, and Lincoln arrived in Washington, D.C. safe and sound, much to the relief of his supporters and the anger of his would-be assassins. Lincoln took over the presidency and faced the looming American Civil War that changed the country's history forever. Sadly, another assassination on his life was attempted in 1865, and this time it was successful.
Abraham Lincoln died? Wrong music. That's such a damn shame, bro. Bro, we just talked the other day. He was a great guy. Coldest nigga I've ever met in my life.
Theodore Roosevelt, 1912. It was
I
October
like his
14th,
glasses.
1912, and our man Teddy was campaigning for president as the leader of the newly formed
Oh, I know this one. He got shot and he kept saying his speech, right?
Bull Moose Party. Yeah, that's right. Bull Moose was the name of the party. Now, Roosevelt was in Milwaukee, ready to deliver a speech, when a man named
Oh my god, I just realized, you know what he looks like?
of the party. Now, Roosevelt was in
You know that one old actor, bro? That old white guy? That's like, he's in Parks and Recreation. I think something mixed up in their ancestry line, because there's no way, bro. There's no way. That's like the same person. Bro, that is literally the same person. Holy shit.
in Milwaukee, ready to deliver a speech, when a man named John Schrank decided it was the perfect time to audition for the role of worst assassin ever. Schrank, who'd actually been chasing Roosevelt across 8 states, pulled out a .38 revolver and shot Roosevelt right in the chest as he stood outside the Gilpatrick Hotel to greet the adoring crowd. Now, here's where the story takes a turn worthy of a Hollywood blockbuster. You see, Teddy had a 50-page speech in his breast pocket folded over twice. He also had his steel eyeglass case in there, so the bullet hit both of these, slowing it down before it lodged in his chest. It was like his pocket had decided to play goalie and made a spectacular save. Standing before the crowd, Roosevelt opened his jacket to reveal the blood-stained shirt and announced, and I quote, "Friends, I shall ask you to be as quiet as possible. I don't know whether you fully understand that I have just been shot, but it takes more than that to kill a bull."
Him, bro. I never heard the speech. I knew what happened. I never heard the speech, bro. He straight up stood there. I got shot. Don't worry about it. Let's go ahead and don't even worry. I just need to inform you guys I got shot, but we're gonna keep it going. Oh my god, bro. They was so badass, man.
Bull moose. The audience gasped, but Roosevelt carried on and delivered his 90-minute speech with the bullet lodged in his chest.
God damn.
Meanwhile, Schrank was arrested on the spot.
But bullets was low-key weak back then, though. I will say that. Like, nowadays, a bullet goes through a president. Best believe they are not finishing the speech.
When asked why he did it, he claimed that the ghost of late President William McKinley, who had been assassinated in 1901, told him to kill Roosevelt to prevent him from running for a 3rd term. Schrank was found to be insane and was committed to the mental hospital where he remained until his death in 1943. Franklin D. Roosevelt, 1933.
See, One Piece fans know he got D in his name. He was destined for greatness. Wait, was he a good guy? Was Franklin Roosevelt a good guy? I don't know for real.
It all started on February 15th, 1933, during the Great Depression and World War II, when America tried to swear in the new president, Franklin D. Roosevelt. During his speech in Miami, Florida, Giuseppe Zangara, an Italian immigrant and former bricklayer who decided that building walls wasn't exciting enough, decided that killing the president was next on his to-do list.
Bro, it must have been so easy for him to just pose to the president. Like, nowadays, okay, I was about to say it's not as easy, but I mean, we just saw what happened, like this year with Trump. So, actually, maybe they just don't give a I don't know. People really just be bored. I would really be thinking, bro, how mad do you have to be at, like, somebody? Like, there's no president in my lifetime that's ever got me that mad. I'm like, damn, I gotta take him out or something. Like, that's like Adolf levels, bro.
The thing is, the man had a deep-seated grudge against all presidents and kings, which is a pretty broad target audience, honestly. It's like being angry at all girls worldwide because he had one bad breakup. The man also suffered from chronic abdominal pain, so with his anger issues, he purchased a .32 caliber revolver and headed to Bayfront Park, convinced that killing a prominent figure would somehow alleviate his suffering. As Roosevelt's speech drew to a close, Zangara pushed his way through the crowd, determined to get close enough to take a shot. And, in a move that would make any terrible assassin proud, he decided to stand on a wobbly metal folding chair to get a better shot. Now, if you've ever tried to balance on a folding chair, you know it's about as stable as a Jenga tower.
Generational fumble incoming.
So Zangara raised his gun, the chair shifted, and his aim went wildly off course because he began falling. He actually fired 5 shots, but managed to miss Roosevelt completely. Instead, he hit 5 other people, including Chicago Mayor Anton Chermak, who unfortunately died a few weeks later.
Damn, rip.
Zangara was quickly arrested and sentenced to death just 4 days after Chermak died. His last words...
See, why do they not do this nowadays? Nowadays, they'd be like, okay, even though, you know, they tried to shoot the president, bro, like, we'll give him a chance, for real. We'll give him a chance. It's all... No, bro, this is what they need to be treating every criminal like, for real, nowadays. Especially every goddamn EDP and predator out. That's what they need to be doing.
We're charming.
What a dumbass shooter.
The button. Apparently, he was eager to get the execution over with, or maybe he thought he was on some sort of twisted game show. Harry S. Truman, 1950. Just imagine going to this nice hotel to relax and take a nap because your home was currently undergoing renovations, just to hear a few hours later that some random guys just started shooting up your home because they thought you were in there. Although this sounds like a crazy action thriller movie, it was the reality.
I just realized, did they not put like bulletproof shit in the place? Okay, realistically thinking, this is a long time ago, but this isn't like that long. This is like 74 years ago. Pretty much 74 years ago. Like, they couldn't have been that dumb, right? The government, like the way they protect the president, there's no way they were that dumb at that point. I understand in like the 1900s and stuff.
Reality of President Harry Truman on November 1st, 1950. So basically, while Mr. President was busy sleeping in his temporary residence in Blair House just across the street,
they literally gave a drive-by to the president.
Two Puerto Rican nationalists named Oscar Collazo and Griselio Torresola decided that the best way to advocate for Puerto Rican independence was to shoot up the president's house. Now, Collazo and Torresola had about as much experience in assassination as a...
And to this day, they never got independence, bro. I'm not gonna lie, if I was Puerto Rican, I would just blame these two dudes.
A fish has in mountain climbing, because their
bold plan had
more holes than Swiss cheese. They were literally going to just walk up to the house, off Truman, and become instant martyrs for their cause. Collazo approached the house from the front, while Torresola went around back, but Collazo managed to botch the first step of their plan. He tried to shoot the first guard he saw, Secret Service Agent Leslie Koffold, but in his nervousness, he forgot to release the safety on his gun. Meanwhile, Torresola was having slightly better luck in the back because he had managed to shoot and wound a couple of guards.
Damn.
Well, the whole shootout lasted only 40 seconds, but when the dust settled, Torresola was dead and Collazo was wounded and captured.
Yeah, y'all folded.
Like something out of an action movie, except with significantly less agile
Dumb and Dumber.
Gerald Ford, 1975. Gerald Ford, the 38th president.
Okay, this isn't that far at all, actually.
The United States may have been known for his steady hand during a turbulent time, but his presidency wasn't short on drama, especially when it came to assassination attempts. In fact, he faced not one, but 2 attempts on his life in the same month. The first attempt was in
Damn, they hated his ass. What'd he do, bro? You would think he goddamn, like they was treating him like Abe or something. Abe Lincoln, thinking he was trying to change humanity forever.
Until California on September 5th, 1975, when the president went to deliver a speech to the state legislature. When suddenly, a woman named Lynette Frome, aka Squeaky, a devoted follower of the infamous cult leader Charles Manson, emerged from the crowd dressed in a flowing red robe like some sort of deranged cardinal. She points a .45 caliber pistol at Ford, but there's just one tiny problem. She forgot to chamber a round. Well, a Secret Service agent around the corner reacted with the reflexes of a snake and tackled Frome to the ground. As they dragged her away, she reportedly yelled, "It didn't go off! Can you believe it? It didn't go off!" Well, Squeaky, we can believe it.
I wonder if she's still alive and in jail, because technically thinking about this. Bro, it's crazy there's some people alive that were like in their 20s and shit when this happened. How old was like Trump or something? He was born in like 1948 or I don't know what. Damn, bro was like in his 20s probably.
Shoot someone when your gun isn't actually ready to fire. But just 17 days later, another attempt was made on this man.
Damn, what the?
At this point, you'd honestly think someone put a bounty on him. This time, the assassin was Sarah Jane Moore, a middle-aged accountant and FBI informant who decided her true calling was to be a presidential assassin. She armed herself with a .38 caliber revolver and positioned herself among the crowd outside the St. Francis Hotel where Ford was set to speak. Now, unlike Frome, Moore actually managed to get a shot off, but her aim was off, possibly because she fired from about 40 feet away. Do they not take any aim training or something? As any would-be assassin might learn, is not the ideal
40 feet, okay, 40 feet ain't that bad, though. Like, if you train, you could hit 40 feet.
For accuracy. Both Frome and Moore were sentenced to life in prison. Frome was paroled in 2009, while Moore was released in 2006.
You tell me they've been walking amongst us for like, how many years is this? Like 16 years? Wait, they let somebody that tried to assassinate a former president, they just let him out, bro. This is what I'm talking about when America's weak. Why the f are y'all letting them out?
7. Meanwhile, President Ford went on to complete his term
if it was a gut, they would be dead.
Incident. Bill Clinton, 1994 and 1996. Now, while the 42nd president of the United States could dodge scandal.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't care what happened to bro for wasn't he on the island with I don't want to say the name because like YouTube would take this down, bro. But y'all know who.
Like Neo dodging bullets in the Matrix, he actually had to dodge some actual bullets, a bomb attack, and 4 assassination attempts, all between 19.
Damn! Oh my god. Your man had the whole collection, bro. Man, goddamn.
94 and 1997. The first attempt occurred on October 29th, 1994, as Bill Clinton was busy enjoying the autumn weather in Washington, D.C., when a man named Francisco Martin Duran suddenly decided to spice things up by opening fire on the White House with a semi-automatic rifle. Duran fired about...
Okay, how stupid was the Secret Service back then? Bro, have they not learned from the past? Have they not learned from the past? They let this dude with a full AR 29 rounds, bitch? 29, like you have to be shooting for a minute to get 29 rounds off. Oh my god, bro.
29 rounds at the White House from the sidewalk on Pennsylvania Avenue. Now you'd think with that many bullets he'd hit something important, but nope. He managed to hit the building, a tree, and every other random thing on his part except for his actual target. Anyways, he was quickly tackled down by Secret Service agents, tourists, and passerbys who must have thought they'd walked into an actual thriller movie. Now,
oh yeah, see, if it's me, I'm just getting the hell out. Man, if they ain't paying me, if the government ain't paying me for real, y'all are not getting help. Y'all pay these people, bro. We pay these people our taxes, all right? Here in America, you pay the Secret Service, like, I don't know, they get paid like $1 billion or $3 billion or $5 billion a year. Like, my nigga, I'm not helping you, bro.
Fast forward to September 12, 1996, and a troubled man with a history of substance abuse and personal problems named Frank Eugene Corder decided that flying a Cessna 150 into the White House would make a statement. Fortunately, President Clinton and his family were not in residence at the time, but the crash caused minimal structural damage and Corder died on impact. George W. Bush, 2001. It's February 7th, 2001.
I didn't even know they tried
barely a month into his presidency, probably still trying to figure out where all the bathrooms are in the White House. You'd think this would be the most secure place for a president, right? Well, no. Enter Robert Pickett, a 47-year-old accountant from Indiana. Now, you might probably be wondering if he was planning to bore the president to death with tax codes, but Pickett actually came armed with a .38 caliber revolver because nothing says, I'm unhappy.
Let me guess, their security was still lacking. This is 01, bro.
With the government, like bringing a gun to a place crawling with Secret Service agents. Here's where it gets good.
Fortnite, bro.
Pickett showed up outside the White House fence on Pennsylvania Avenue and fires several shots, but the president was inside at the time, probably practicing his strategery in front of a mirror. However, Pickett wasn't even trying to hit Bush. On the contrary, he was trying to get himself shot by the Secret Service. The Secret Service, showing remarkable restraint and probably wondering if this was some kind of weird reality TV prank, didn't immediately open fire. Instead, they engaged in a standoff with Pickett that lasted about 10 minutes. It was like the world's most tense game of red light, green light, but with guns.
I seriously don't understand, like, bro, do they not realize? I feel like, bro, if any shots are taken even closer to president, bro, that's just elimination. Should be automatically eliminated, bro. Like, you're shooting one of the most powerful people in the world, or trying to. Why are they having standoffs and stuff? This is why their whole team is stupid, bro. Nah, they really need to abolish this organization. Y'all are done. I might as well start an organization. Hold up, NFG. We get paid $1 billion and we protect the president, bro. Like, it wouldn't even be that hard, bro. How hard would it be? It can't be that hard.
Finally, an officer managed to wound Pickett in the knee, bringing the would-be assassin down faster than Bush's approval.
Damn, he wanted to get hit in the head, man.
Second term. Bush was moved to a safer location in the White House, but quickly resumed his normal schedule. It turns out Pickett had a history of mental illness and had been fired from the IRS years earlier.
Nice.
He ended up pleading guilty to assaulting a federal officer and was sentenced to 3 years in prison.
3 years? I realize there's people on weed charges with more years.
Donald Trump. The first attempt on Trump's life was in June 2016, before he even became president, at a campaign rally in Las Vegas, Nevada. A 19-year-old Brit named Michael Sanford decided to grab a police officer's gun at a Las Vegas rally.
Okay, first off, you're British. You don't know how to use that. That's number one. You don't even know how to use the Stratford. Did you have any training? Damn, I didn't even know they tried to get Brittle twice. Nah, they really hate him. Well, actually, okay, we don't know. Yeah.
And shoot Trump.
He was a
Apparently,
knife
the young
dumbass.
man said that the voices in his head made him do it. Talk about letting your intrusive thoughts win. Another assassination attempt happened in September 2018, but it was poisoning by mail this time.
What?
Apparently, an envelope addressed to Trump containing a suspicious white powder was intercepted at a Pentagon mail facility, which turned out to be castor seed.
Do you think they don't check the mail? That's like the number one thing they will check in the government, the president's mail. It literally directs straight from your address. Like they could track exactly where you're from. These assassins are actually the dumbest people on earth. Oh my god.
Seeds that contained ricin. Well, the would-be poisoner clearly forgot that presidents don't open their own mail. The most recent attack on the...
Wait, y'all think if I send like a letter to Trump, he'd respond or something? Like, what if I told him, yo, you trying to come on a stream for real for a cameo type shit? I mean, I heard Aiden's having him on stream next week, right? Hey, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like he might know me, bro. And you never know. Maybe he'll give me like $1 billion, bro. He gonna think you a nobody. People would check for him.
President just happened again on July 13th, 2024 at his
we all
Pennsylvania
remember this.
rally. Trump was allegedly hit in the ear.
Never forget when I saved him, though. Live footage of this. This is a new POV. Yo, this is crazy, y'all. Get down! Never in my life am I going back to that, bro. I can't go back to that job for real. I did save him. I was the one holding him down, bro. I was the one holding him down.
By a bullet from a rifle of someone in the crowd. The shooter, a 20-year-old man, searched for details of the John F. Kennedy shooting from his laptop and flew a drone in the area near the rally just 2 hours before the former...
How did they let this... A whole-ass drone, bro? He bring a whole-ass drone? Do they not have drone AI tracking technology? No, we're actually cooked, bro. We're actually... Like, I'm really just thinking, you pay tax money for this. Like, you would think this would be the person that's the most secured in the world.
The president took the stage. He also managed to hit and kill a 50-year-old man and seriously injure two other people in the crowd before he was taken care of by the Secret Service agents at the scene.
That's tragic. Yeah, that was goofy as shit. You know what? That was a good video. So yeah, I just want to say, you know, I think I'm gonna have to hire some security. I've just been feeling some imminent threats, you know, since I'm at a higher political position, you feel me? Like, I might need to hire some security, you get me, to keep me safe from a bunch of weirdos and stuff. So, yeah, I'm family friendly. Just want to mention I'm not a thug or anything like that. If you come up to me, I probably will be scared for real. But, yeah, if you're watching on the tube, make sure to join the Discord and watch the streams.
Subscribe to Tommy NFG.